Hey everybody, I figured it's a good time to do a quick update video on all the new features inside of QuickBooks Online Payroll. Now, every month, Intuit does a pretty good job of letting us know about the different things they've added on or the improvements they've done to QuickBooks Online, Advanced, their payroll products, QuickBooks Time, everything. So I thought it would be a good idea to just kind of focus in onto this and show some of the neat new stuff. With that in mind, I've got the blog article that they basically shared throughout the different Facebook communities to kind of tag along with that and then show you where these things are inside the product itself. So the first thing they were talking about is the ability to access more of the QuickBooks Time functionality right inside of QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Online Payroll. To do that, very easy, on the far left-hand side here, you'd come down until you get to the Time tab. From here, you'll see the overview page, which we have up. And what you can do now, instead of having to go over to the classic QuickBooks Time view, which you can still do, of course, you have the ability that you can add time entries directly in from here. You can improve time. You can set up your kiosk. You can even invite different members, run reports. You can basically do everything, almost everything, all right inside of this platform immediately. So if I switch over to like my time entries, and as a manager, if I want to see who's been working where and so forth, I can come click in, display by employee, of course. I can display by customer, date, contractor, all workers, whatever I'd like. And then I can also click onto it to see deeper detail as to who was the customer it was for, the type of service that was being done, notes that were set up as well, and whether it's been approved or not. Now, this is something that I put in, but I didn't make a paycheck out of it yet, which is why it's still sitting here at this point. So through here, I could also then actually go and unapprove it, send it back if I had to. Now, one thing that's kind of important to know from what I've seen so far, if you really need to be mapping your specific payroll items, and this comes into play if you're trying to do more of the job costing to projects, everything else, then what you would need to do is still come into this classic view. And if you come up to the little QuickBooks logo, and then go to Preferences, this will get you to the area where it's really easy to see your payroll items mapping capabilities. It's also where you'll be able to choose what information you want people to have to select or not select when they're clocking in and out of things. So once I click into payroll item mappings, I can go through and really fine-tune everything that I would have set up inside of this. If there are changes like you're seeing inside of here, I've got these error messages. It's telling me that I don't have something selected for these type of pay types that I would need to map out. So otherwise, if you're trying to attribute certain aspects of this to certain jobs, whether it's a house job or something else, those hours would not map correct when you're trying to do all that mapping stuff. Super, super important to know. So again, big improvements on the QuickBooks Time. I'm digging it. I think it's actually pretty neat what they've been adding in over time. The next area, of course, is the fact you can start to do health insurance through Allstate. So once you're inside your payroll area again, if you just actually come from payroll, go to the top here to benefits, and you're going to see right away some of the different functionalities. So you can actually talk to an expert to get healthcare. I should start doing that myself. Find your plan, guidelines for retirement capabilities. So the new thing is the fact they're teaming up with Allstate to help bring this to you. So making sure everybody has access to healthcare, of course. From there, you've also got the ability to easily manage your payroll items for multiple employees at once. So what we're talking about here, if we come back in again, we can go to our payroll and then go to employees. We'll see in here, edit payroll items. And under this, you will see a listing of each of the different types, like the different items that can be used or not used. And then once you click into it, you can actually come in and assign to all of your employees. So if you have a large list of employees, you can start to bulk assign them instead of having to go back and forth one at a time to choose who this would be set for or not. If we click back out of this part, the next one is going to be your improved document management. So inside here, when you come in, again, to payroll area, of course, you're going to go into your employee list first, choose an employee, and then from that employee, you can go to this Documents tab. And on the Documents tab that you're seeing here, you've got the ability that you can actually create different folders, but you can upload documents from, I'm on a computer now, or from a mobile device and share that information. Now, all of this stuff works a lot better, of course, if you're using the Workforce app. So the employees have the ability to, see their paychecks faster, get their W-2s at the end of the year. There's a lot more that you can do with it. It's also a great way that when you bring on a new employee, you can actually have them basically onboard themselves by filling in all of their tax information. Super, super great way to go about it. Of course, to do it, you can just sit and go invite to Workforce, choose the person, make sure it's got the email information, send it over, and they'll be able to go through that whole process very easy. We have more information about this inside of our complete QuickBooks Online Payroll guide. We show you basically the whole process and what it's like for an employee to go through that. It's pretty neat. And then the other part, this is actually pretty helpful. I just used this just the other day, was helping somebody where their payroll stuff got pulled to a wrong account and we needed to try to push the pieces all back together. Now, what I'm not talking about is this isn't the same idea where if it's being mapped to a wrong payroll account, that's a little bit different. What we're talking about here, though, is inside of QuickBooks Online, again, go to your gear icon, go to your payroll settings, and then from here, you're going to go down all the way to the bottom and go to your accounting, select this. And if you start to change any of these different expense and liability accounts, once you make a change on one of them, choose where you want to go to. The very, very bottom, you have this option to update transactions. And that is, of course, hiding right behind me here. So we'll slide myself over. You'll see this little boom, clicks onto it. And through here, you can basically start doing a start and ending date. Now, this has been around for just a little bit, but it's a huge, huge benefit because now you can choose what beginning point you want. And if there's too many transactions, you can kind of like batch do it, 200 transactions at a time. So maybe you're doing one quarter, one quarter, one quarter. If you have a really big payroll, you could do it one per month, of course. So hopefully just this quick little tutorial of telling you about some of the cool new features, functionalities within payroll was helpful. I would recommend, if you haven't checked it out yet, go over to my YouTube channel. I've got a 2.5 hour long video for QuickBooks Online Payroll. It goes from starting, setting it up with nothing, all the way through like adding your first employee, showing the employees aspect of them, adding their details online themselves, and then going through to the point where you actually make your first payroll to them, direct deposit, that type of setup. So again, thanks for watching, and as always, here's wishing you all a very successful week.